Hey, what's up, everybody? This is JTC Boy coming at you with the Kulture Stream Podcast. We are on episode number 6. I am joined with my host, Brother Tones.
Yo.
Brother Jude.
Hello.
And we have a special guest with us, world-renowned, men's traditional, kind of the guy that you see, like, hey, that's probably your favorite dancer right there. You got Lonny Street.
How's everybody doing?
Ho. And yeah, today we are going to be talking about, Powwow stories, of course. And then we're actually going to give you a view from a dancer's perspective. You guys heard our views as singers, our pet peeves when people stand in front of us when we're trying to watch the powwow. People that put up chairs by us when it's just, they're not allowed. But yeah, so now we're going to get a dancer's perspective, and I'm pretty excited, man. How about you, Tones?
Yep. We had some good ideas here, so it's going to be pretty good.
Awesome, man. Jude?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. All righty, well, we'll start off here. So before we jumped into this, we are kind of talking with Lonny about a dancer's perspective, and we asked the question, how do you feel as a dancer only being judged maybe once or twice throughout the weekend compared to singers, drum groups being judged? I don't know, what's the most we've been judged? Probably like 8 times.
I've seen 9 times.
9 times?
We got judged 10 times at Lake Kenny Merrick Junior's Powwow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, what's your thoughts on that there, Lonny?
Well, I would like to think you want to have as many chances as you can to participate and get points, and how the point system goes. You got to rack up points to win. So with more, you got 3 days of powwow. So I would think at least you would dance contest once a day. Because you're there, you got a nice outfit, you're there to powwow, so you might as well dance and enjoy it, And plus, you want to get a good song for a contest, so you want to be able to dance to it, interpret it, and show it for the people. That's how I look at it.
So you don't like non-contest drums?
No, I love non-contest drums. They're more into it than the contest drums, because they're there just for the people, too.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always people, you go to powwows and dance for money. So, well, yeah, I mean, that's part of it. You can't put a pennant and blanket in the gas tank. You got to have money to pay for gas. Well, I've been all over the place, United States and Canada, and I've hung out with all kinds of different people. And you got your people to say they've never been to a contest powwow. They always go to, traditional powwow, this and that. But, somehow, some way, money has to be involved for it to happen. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like a long time ago. That's dead and gone. It's just sad to say that. But as now, you have to have, money's got to be involved for things to happen. You got people coming to sing for you. They're not going home empty-handed. Yeah. You got the gifts are exchanged, or however it happens. It's just it's the stereotype of a traditional powwow versus a contest powwow.
I say that's just the ones that don't place.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Making excuses.
Feeling a little sore about it.
I only go to traditional powwows.
Because you get paid.
Yeah. Because you get day pay for sure. Yeah.
Well, how about that topic of you guys don't get day pay just for dancing, whereas drum groups that don't place or drum groups that are there just for day pay, they get something for it.
You have to understand that's the chance that you take as a contest dancer going to a powwow. Either you win or you don't. Mm. And if you want to win, you got to step up your game, have the outfit, the regalia. Your body has to be in shape. You have to know the songs. You got to present yourself in a good way, and you'll do good if you have put good into it. But if you got bad intentions, just like in life, it's going to all turn all bad on you. And you're going to have some kind of story that you go to explain to somebody that it's bad, so you give bad vibes out to everyone else, and they tend to pull away from power because of one person's experience.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like me and my wife Verna, everybody knows her, of course. We want to start bringing back powwow back. You know, it doesn't matter if you're enrolled or not. If you're native, if you feel it, if it's the arena is there for everybody, not just for one kind of people. It's the circle of life, and if it helps you heal, then it's there for you. Just like, my adopted dad was Leonard Crow Dog, and he explained the same thing about Sundance. Is you can't expect to go to a Sundance and all Lakotas or all Arapahoes or all Cheyennes or all wherever the case may be. It's all for the people, and the people is the Oyate. We all know that. So with that, the healing has to start with that, and so is the same way with the Powwow Arena. Is the same thing. It's a spiritual contact with what we used to have or what we still have or what we feel as Native people. So that brings us closer together, and that breaks us, it makes us, it heals us, it eases the pains of living the two lifestyles of we do today. We have to live Native, then we have to live white, or however you want to say that word. So, and then your family has to be involved too, because if you don't take advantage of it and use it in a good way, it's going to get lost. It's not going to be there anymore.
Well, how would you, with the topic of like powwows, would you say that powwows is culture? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. You have to, because it ties in with spirituality.
Let me ask this then. Say I'm not going like in a bad way, but since we have Native and say other people wanted to come and join in their dances, do you think Native people would allow them to bring their culture in and have a like, I don't.
Well, they do with the Aztecs.
Yeah, like that. But I mean, like have it
showcase.
Yeah, like go like other powwows with it to see if it would catch on and
bring them in as like categories. And stuff.
Because because we do the same thing nowadays with like other tribes because we never had smoke dance until
if it
90s?
was all an indigenous gathering, from all indigenous people.
But what that's going back to the powwows for everybody. So what if it was like the Israelites had a
well, that's the thing there too. Cause that part there, that's a whole different. Because they're actually claiming there are.
But what if they had their own dance? Though, would you
allow them to come to our powwows?
Yeah,
I don't think they'd want to. Would they?
That's a part of it too, because us guys, as a singer, we tend to kind of make fun of drum groups that are mimicking and trying to replicate what they hear. And yes, they have a different skin tone than us. They're from different countries, but it's just like we make fun of them for doing it. Same way with like the non-natives that are trying to come out there and dance.
I'm sure there's non-natives that make fun of us too, because how we dance and do the the karate, what do you call it, the tomahawk chop and stuff like that. So it goes both ways.
Especially those Chiefs, they really mock us. The NFL Chiefs fan team. Kansas City Chiefs, let's go with that one. Yeah, they really mock the natives.
Oh, here we go. That's another podcast right there.
Got the Kansas City Chief hat on.
That's my team.
To actually think about if Aztecs kind of opened the gateway, I guess you'd say, with the dance. Because they allow it in Arizona and California.
It's with anything, though. You have to have boundaries. There's rules for powwow, but then there's non-written rules for powwow too, as a traditional aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking earlier about Morongo and the powwow fairy come bouncing through there.
Yeah,
Powwow fairy.
And
you guys know who we're talking about.
And he was disqualified for several different things, but the main reason was that he registered in two different categories.
He didn't want to put an undershirt on.
Yeah. And then as a straight dancer, the rules for straight dancer, you have to be as a gentleman. But he come in there with that see-through shirt on, and you can see the big old pepperonis from clear across the arena. Yeah. And he had a straight dance outfit on, and then he comes in with fancy dance outfit with little sticks prancing around. I'm sure you guys probably seen the video of this guy, but that's the non-written rules that we're talking about. Have respect for who you are as a category, as a native, and as a man, as a human being. So with that, you're going to take advantage of it, then you're going to let that slide. What else are you going to let slide down the line?
Well, how do you feel when you see non-natives come in and dress the same way, where with turkey feather bustles and
Hey, more power to them. Because they ain't taking it away from my pocket, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if they enjoy themselves and they don't get in the way and
So
don't
why
hurt
take
nobody.
away from the ferry?
Because he wasn't, he's Nate. Yeah, come on now. Don't get me there.
But I mean,
It's out of
that's-
respect, you know.
Yeah.
well, the thing is, you're native. You should know.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
you
part of the
should know
unwritten
if-
rules.
The thing is, what it comes down to is he's seen an opportunity to make money
Yeah.
because there was more in the straight category than there
But
was.
the way he was dressed was crazy, and the way
Very,
he came
very
out looking
inappropriate,
all crazy.
you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
not-
was at the powwow. I was at the same powwow.
It's not uncommon though. I mean, you know, some categories like, let's say, like women, Southern, whatever, may have one dancer on a Friday, but on a Saturday,
Everybody switches over. But yeah, but they don't try to keep both.
He also
Well, basically,
he had
sometimes
his-
when there's an opportunity that's open like that, a girl that usually doesn't dance has a friend that has that same outfit and
Yeah.
will borrow her outfit and jump in the contest the next night.
yeah,
Which I can see, you know, if there's nothing there, then you got to fill it, and you need a little bit of gas money. I see, take the chance to do it.
but he had the Southern straight outfit on
yeah.
with fancy dance bustles and
With a junior boys bustles too.
Yeah.
At that,
Yeah.
so like real
they were probably
small.
adult bustles, but
No, they were kind of small compared to him.
They
Anyway.
were tiny tots.
Yeah, so it's just like you got to set boundaries for yourself and everything in life, you know. And taking advantage of something like that, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Not that it was my personal feelings were involved with it, but you know the rules were stated. You can only enter in one contest to register, and he tried to lie about that. He registered in Fancy in a whole different name.
No.
So
Well, when it comes to drum group singing for you, have you ever had a bad song sung for you?
well, yeah. I had the best song and I had the worst song. But you know, as a dancer, you have to whatever you
have
get.
to roll with the
You
punches.
got to roll with the punches, yeah, and dance to what you get. As a champion, like they say, if you're a champion dancer, you can dance to anything.
Yep.
Now, what your own personal opinion is, or if you had a bad experience with a song, or you couldn't produce, then you're mad about it. That's on you. You know, I'm not the best. I've been known to overstep or understep or miss it. Like
I seen we got you this past weekend
yeah, you did.
with the ruffle. He's like, and then the song was still going. And he just started laughing.
Yeah, that first one you guys got me on. Yeah. Yeah, so it's if you make fun with it, have fun with it, with good intentions, good feelings, I'm sure you'll do fine.
Yeah.
But a lot of people tend to make it all about politics or somebody's putting medicine on me. You heard that same old thing all the time. It's like, well, apparently your medicine is not powerful enough if you're worried about somebody else's. That's how I look at it. It's just the mental part of people is kind of crazy. But there's been appropriate songs I've had, and the songs you look over to the side, you're like, who is singing? So if you don't take it to heart and just have fun, you'll be all right.
Look over to the side and it's your son-in-law singing.
Yeah.
They messed up.
Yeah.
Start pointing around with the drum. Better check them.
It's like that one video over at Red Lake. You dancers get back out there. That's how that song wasn't supposed to be go anyway.
That's how that song was or something.
Wasn't made or something.
Kavan was on the mic.
Well, I mean that's cool hearing like an insight from a dancer, and for us, we're like I said, we're singers. Jude used to dance. I don't know if you heard his epic story of his
Ralph.
old Ralph over here. Old Ralph kills the enemy.
I think he
or
was
faces
there when
the
I did
enemy.
that.
What's up?
At Eagle Butte Powwow when I threw up at that special.
No.
Yeah, so I mean, we've had experiences as dancers. I did dance when I was a little young buck.
Young whippersnapper.
Yeah, young whippersnapper. But yeah, let's go to tones and.
So are you ever gonna start dancing again?
So
Would you come back out?
Would I? You know what? I could sing. I have rhythm to sing. I just don't have that rhythm to dance, man.
It should be there.
Yeah.
I thought it was too. I looked. I prayed. But no, I just don't have that rhythm, man. It's just like I could sing, but I just can't freaking dance, dude. It's crazy. How about you, Tones? Did you dance?
Yeah, I used to dance grass.
Nice. Would you ever come back out?
No.
Why'd you look at yourself first?
Traditional.
Yeah.
Our Southern Street.
With bustles.
With bustles.
New powwow fairy.
Man, fuck you guys.
All right, back on. What do you guys about the non-tribal members setting up drum groups?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm a she setting up a drum group.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think not yet. It's coming though.
You think?
I don't know. I've seen non-tribal members on the drum and actually can sing real good.
Yeah, you're in the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
You probably see a lot.
Yeah, a lot of that over there.
What did not Badlands, Porcupine?
Yeah.
They had 2
Tom
guys.
was it Tom Teagarden?
Yeah,
White
yeah,
guy.
yeah. So I mean, it's acceptable to me. You know, they're just trying to be.
Back in the 70s and 80s, every drum group had a white guy. Walk Record they used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think Red Leaf had
2 of them.
2 of them too.
Well, it's good to have followers, you know, and want to hang and learn the ways. And you know, natives never back down for trying to help people in this, you know. In this
Youngberg used to have one too.
Stasso.
This is when he got the mullet.
Yeah.
We had our own intro dirt.
Though he killed that mullet though. I'm not gonna lie, man. What about just okay? So one of the things that I've been seeing a lot, especially in the Bakken area, the Fort Berthold area, is the goddamn concession stands, dude. Like jacking up their
The
prices.
Bakken prices.
That's Bakken prices, bro.
And even then, it's just shitty ass quality of food, bro. Like stale chips
It's
and
comes with the Bakken
quality-
prices, man. Because look at
the quality of everything has seemed to gone down.
yeah, it's like even non-native people that are freaking like
Did you see the Asian guy at the powwow selling the little all the the cheap blankets and the little toys and stuff, you know? And, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, you had to be native to have a craft stand or a food stand.
Yeah.
You know,
Bring that back.
keep the money in with the people. You know,
that's true.
Should have a tribal ID in order to.
or somebody.
You guys seen
has one,
tart
yeah.
sound blankets over there, right? Ecuadorians.
So them suckers go around powwowing and they go to L.A. or
Our
New
brothers-
York and they dress up in native gear and jam out.
Our brothers to the south, yeah. They got the flutes and they got
Yeah.
the feathers and I've seen them in California too.
They bust out that song from Last of the Mohegans. You ever see that?
When they're running through the trees.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
They're playing it.
Yeah.
They play it on the flute.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to like Lonnie. What's your thoughts on like the difference between, let's say, like being judged and things like that when it comes to singers and dancers? I mean, do you guys like we have to be checked a lot as a singer because you gotta have like maybe 1 or freaking 10 guys sitting at a drum, but it's like we always got to be there. And it's just like with dancers, it's just like,
Yeah,
there's only like
I've been known to go to a powwow, make granite tree, never see me again till contest, and then never see me again till granite tree, and so on and so forth. I didn't know I was at the powwow till contest and granite tree. I feel bad about that stuff. It just, we got different things going on in our lives, and it just, I should try to make an effort, and I have been lately, to be in there because you have a lot of children, younger people looking up at you, and and it's not being present for them kind of makes me feel bad, In a drum group, I know you guys got to be there all the time because you have to be there. You miss a drum roll call or even a song, you're looked at, you're docked, and And what do you guys feel about having a dancer or two on your drum, and then you got to pick between contest or singing?
Well,
we've actually had some discussions on it because one of our singers, yes, our old singer, he would, because us, if our singer's not there, sometimes that shows on us. They'll check our points.
Yeah.
And if they give him the choice and he still sings, that's still taking sound away from us, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of on that. But when it comes to us, actually, when it comes down to it, we're like, you know, you chose to sing with us. You're gonna leave us hanging, and then they got that. Well, we got kids, and then everyone's like, well, so does the rest of us, you know.
Yeah.
So that we understand that, but it's just like, yeah.
Well, then if he's got a chance to win first place in contest, but then you guys get drum cut and he only gets $500, but he could have won $1,500. You know.
Well, I guess that is kind of two different things in itself.
Yeah.
You know, as a dancer, you take home $1,500 first place. But for us, if we got $1,500 as a group,
you get to split
what's the
that
math
up.
on that?
Well, it depends
How
on
many?
15 singers.
for 10 guys.
10 guys.
Yeah, it's what,
It's
$150.
$150,
Yeah.
And-
So, does the guy miss out? Does the dancer miss out on that, and then sing with you guys, and get $150 too? If you know what I'm saying, right?
Well, what would you do?
I would have to dance.
Well, let's say.
You know, and if the drum doesn't like that or whatever, then I just have to leave myself in the group.
But what if you're singing for 50,000, 40,000?
Well, then that's different there too. So
Yeah.
it's not that I'm greedy, but it's we all have bills and we got kids to feed and we got sumo pools to go to and stuff like that. So
Well, back in the day, that's it came down to either you sing or dance. I mean, if you win, you know, you could possibly throw it in with the crew and
or yeah, I've been I've won first place at Powwows, but the drum didn't get in, and I still had to support the brothers to get through, and that's fine with me, you know. So, but I would.
Nice.
It would be nice though if it wouldn't have an effect on the drum.
yeah.
Okay, the singer's not there, he's dancing. Okay, all of our singers are here, but one's dancing. But like you said, on the sound, if this one dancer is that but good of a singer, then I understand that part too.
Yeah.
No, and that's what it comes down to. And like you said, it's about taking a chance. And as drum groups, it's not just a one man effort.
No, it's
Somebody misses a song that affects all of us. Somebody's late for a roll call that affects everybody. And it's like with dancers, how do you feel about spot checks?
yeah. Sometimes when I make them, they're okay.
When I make them, they're really good.
Yeah, I know. The women have a tendency to get mad about spot checks because they got kids.
Yeah.
Some have a newborn, some have 2-year-olds. Some, it goes on and on. And if of course they're taking care of the kids as they're back at camp or whatever, and spot check, they can't make it. Of course, they're going to get upset about it. But see, if it goes back to having contests on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday 3 times, you ain't got to worry about spot checks.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, well, depend on contest, we'll make them dance. But spot checks, like it's things. You got all kinds of different things going on. So it's like you get caught on or you get caught off, one of the two. So if you have more contests for dancers, because you have, like you said, you guys were judged 10 times in one weekend. How many contests could have been instead of 5 intertribals or however it breaks it down to.
So do you think there'd be a difference in points if you guys were to dance your first straight song, get judged, and then go out and dance your change up and then get judged?
No, I think it'd save on time if you just keep it together. You mean like judge one straight song, come back, get judged. Okay, now we're gonna judge you on a crow hop or whatever and get judged. That's an idea, though. I mean, that's only that could be a difference between of course, first and fifth.
What
Just
about
one song?
INFP? How many times did you guys get judged there?
5, I think, or 5, and then I think 6 the finals.
So 6 times total?
I think so. Yeah.
So one every session?
Yeah.
Just about?
Yeah.
So do you think that's an advantage to the better dancers or to the...
I just keep, well,
Well, I know you won it, so.
No, I came there with my mindset. I told Vernon, before the Powwow started and everything else, and when it came up, I just kept saying to myself, I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it. And I started working out a little bit, kind of give myself incentive. And then when I went there, I went in I focused on the songs. I was ready on time, of course. And then when the songs came, I just, how you want to say, worked the floor. Mm. It happened, As a dancer, you guys, all of us been dancers, so that feeling of, when they get a good song. And it was, from what I feel, is that there was no singing contest. So the singers could take their time and just relax and sing and have fun. Yeah. Mm. And that feeling was there. So that's where, and that feeling went across the dancers. Mm-hmm. So there was no mad rush of boom and pow, pow. You know how some guys get fired up and just take off. But then when it comes to intertribal, and then they sing a nice song and it just boom.
The vibes.
Yeah. The vibe sometimes, the competition vibe does take away sometimes from.
So did you sell your jacket?
No, I still got it in the
van. So is there a difference as a dancer between competition powwow or a invited drums powwow?
Yeah, there is, absolutely. Because like you said, the competition, if there's invited drums and there's no contest to be, it seems like the singers are more relaxed. They can sit around and visit and talk, and it's something they want to do. Singer wants to sing. Of course they want to compete and, just find out who the best is. But when they can relax and vibe with each other and sing a song and it's just relaxing and the feeling is there. Yeah. But just that little touch of competition, you're on alert, you're high alert, you just want to do your best, but you would better if you're just more relaxed and go with it. Yeah. It's that edge.
So for singers, I think we sing better when there's a competition. Yeah. I mean, and that's just from a singer.
That's the same way that he goes saying that, because everyone's relaxed, but when it's competition, everyone's like, sing hard, push hard.
But he's saying the invited drum powwows are better than the competition powwows because everybody's relaxed.
Not saying better, but it goes both. There's it goes both ways. Like you're saying that too. But like I said, at Vegas powwow, everybody, that singing competition, competing for money wasn't there. Yeah. So everybody vibed together, and it was more just work. Yeah, everyone's trying to out-sing each other. You know what I'm saying? Because the top drums were there. Yeah. But in the meantime, you're not singing against just your boys, you're just singing against these guys, but there's money involved. So you want people to say, oh, who's the best ones over there? Blackstone, or whatever their point is. You know what I mean?
Why not Youngber?
Well, they already were. They're my number one already. You understand that part, though. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of goes with dancing, too. I mean, would you rather go to a powwow with 1,500, 2,000 first place, or a powwow with like 800, 500 first place?
In my line, in my moccasins, I'd rather go to the $1,500 powwow because it's a better chance, coming out of it with first. Like I said, I've been dancing all my life, and this it's the idea of still. I'm 54 years old. Next year I'll be in golden age. I've been in first place ever since I was like 24, 26 years old. So it's, of course you would look at the money, but, I'd rather go to a powwow that has better singing for 800 than a powwow that has no singing for 1,500. You know what I mean?
Well, let's say the first place for the drum contest is 5,000. I mean, 5,000 is good money, but first place for a drum contest in 5,000 really doesn't draw that much.
Oh no! Yeah, you got 10 guys on a drum group. You got to come out of there with at least 1,000. Yeah.
Nowadays, where the prices are, you need gas money and hotel money, and eat money, and that's just there
and back.
And then to get back, you still need the money to get back on. So you need about a good $1,000. And take it from us, because when we powered, we were a weekend, and it was even 1,500 this weekend, 1,000 this weekend, 1,500, 2,000. So, and that was
Then half of that went to booze.
Yeah, for real. It's expensive to party.
Split the rest on beer and women, and the rest are just wasted. Fast cars and women, and the rest are just wasted.
But yeah, the prices has changed from back then. So, because back then it was 5,000 was big money.
Oh yeah, well I remember back in the '80s, $1,000 for first place in adults. It's still the same thing, pretty much. You know, it's gone up a little, but still, the inflation in the last 2 years has gone way up high. It's like.
So you think 1,000's pretty low for?
Yeah, nowadays, yeah.
Like this, like Little Shop Powwow, first 5 places, 10,000.
The singing contest.
Yeah, you know. So 10,000 now is like what 5,000 was back then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's true.
And
because you know the price of hot dogs went way up.
they ain't a quarter no more.
There used to be a guy that had a stand. He would put a quarter on a color, spin the wheel. If you got that color, you got a free hot dog.
Oh,
If not, he would take your quarter.
Yeah. That saved a lot of lives on the res.
For real. He'd have a big ass line too.
Oh, 1 quarter, huh?
Yeah.
But even nowadays, I guess you know, we've all seen how big the whole powwow country has gotten. Whereas it's like, you know, Mandaree, their powwow was only in competition with, I want to say, like Flandreau or Sioux Valley.
Salamanca.
But now it's Salamanca. Now it's a lot more powwows going on.
Well, like this weekend, there's no powwows in the States, is there? Not anywhere?
This coming weekend, I don't think there is.
Yeah, but then there's like 3 in Canada, 4 or 5 in Canada. And then for some of us that can't get across, it's kind of a bummer.
You know, what I said would be cool for the powwow shows if they started like in the beginning of like January and they started in Oregon. And it just made a powwow trail, just, you know, weekend after weekend all the way through.
Oh, yeah, everybody should collaborate, get together, and start in a warmer region in the wintertime, of course.
There you go.
Through the year. But your oldest powwows, like Macy, I think their powwows like 157th annual. They would have, what do you call it?
Did you dance there when they first started?
Yes, I did. No, but I did when they first back in the '70s. I grew up in Tama, Iowa, in Winterset. So then we would hit all those local Winnebago, Macy, Mankato, all the houses in Minneapolis, go to Chicago, down through Kansas City, Oklahoma. That whole, and once in a while we came out, you know, to Montana and stuff.
Imagine that'd be like to just start the trail and
you hit a powwow one weekend
and just go down the line, go down the road.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, you could going zigzagging.
Only going 100 miles a week.
Yeah.
But you're still getting power.
Yeah.
End up clear across.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be something. You hear that, tribes? Get it together.
Yeah. Tribes that's got the longest going power, seniority, I guess you want to call it seniority, would keep their weekend if it's so, you know what I mean?
Mandaree's power has been going for 158 years.
Is it?
No, it's kidding.
Oh.
Just trying to one up you.
Well, you know, and you know,
The first powwow was cave people banging on logs.
You ever see that video on YouTube? The caveman
Chronicles
special.
Oh,
They had a special, and I think it's in Chilean.
Oh, in Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they
How
all,
about that caveman dude?
yeah,
they all there?
they had a
Just up
grand
like
entry and
cavemen.
everything. Like a clown dance, but it was
Yeah.
a caveman competition.
Yeah.
Badass.
Then they
Captain Caveman.
they all had a log and they're all hitting that log. You check it out, it's on YouTube.
Well, let's say one outside of Native American indigenous group would you invite to a powwow?
What I would like to see is those guys that
Oh, the African tribe?
yeah.
The ones with the
Chicken dancer?
No,
They got like voodoo, like
Yeah, like
like the one that
Oh, you talk about the guy with the hay,
like a
yeah,
hay
the
suit?
basket of hay.
Yeah.
It'll spin, then it'll go down, then it'll lift it up, and there's nobody in there.
Yeah.
That's the same with spirituality. You know,
Yeah,
dealing with the kind of like a Uweepy in a way. You know, in the daytime in a bale of hay. You're going around. I mean, I seen it. I seen it. You know,
They're pretty
on
intense.
YouTube. You know, I've seen it on YouTube, and you know, the camera was there. You know, at one time, I believe that everybody had powers.
Oh yeah.
Long time ago, you know. But through the now and how everything is, they lost their ways. So now, since we still have our ways, that's why they're trying to do studies on us. They're trying to get our language. They're trying to get the ceremony because they're trying to duplicate that
one thing
that contact with the supernatural.
Yeah.
is
They won't do it, though.
I'm wondering is how come they won't give back our bundles?
Because they know why. You know why.
Because we had a lot of power with those bundles.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are they keeping them? They don't know how to use them.
I think there's some in the building, huh?
I'm not too sure, but
I think Lorenzo was saying something about that.
There's some in there?
Slowly getting the artifacts back.
We knew this lady that worked at a museum in Indiana, and in order for us to get our stuff back, we have to have a facility that can house all our stuff without the deterioration of the air. You know what I mean? It has to be a tight chamber and all that stuff for real. Because some of that stuff is so old, if it touches regular air, it'll just,
disintegrate.
Yeah, disintegrate.
Well,
So that's a true fact. But at the same time, dude, they got...
No, I was thinking, I was talking about, like, look at all the old people that have their bundles still, you know?
Yeah.
Old bundles that they keep around on the reses, you know? And
Well, you have to remember, though, they send anthropologists to every reservation from every university to learn all this information. And for some tribes, like, I ain't going to mention any names, but some tribes had lost a lot of men in war. So the anthropologists would offer the money up for their husband's bundles or their grandfather's bundles and tell a story with that. At that time, when you got kids and you got no way to feed them and you got money in your hand, you're going to take it. This happened like during the early 1900s, late 1800s too. So it's an opportunity of food or keeping your ways. And if there's no spiritual men or helpers around to show you what not to do, you're going to pass it on. And like the Meskwakis, they had smallpox. They took all their stuff, put it one thing, and burned it all to kill the smallpox. So we lost our clothes, bundles, work clubs, pipes, everything that you could ever think of at one time because of smallpox. They threw it all in one pot and just burned it all. So a lot of stuff were lost like that. I mean, look at the museums in Europe, packed full of ceremonial things, bundles from Lakota, for all kinds of people, not just, you know what I mean? So they got that stuff, and of course, they wanted to keep it, or however their ideas are to use that stuff. Now we can't get it back, because most of our medicine people don't have that way to communicate with and get those things back, and if you know what I'm saying, supernaturally, or however, if you believe in that. I don't know. But they want to keep us suppressed as much as they can because they know we have something about us that nobody else has.
It was where that time we went to I must have been about 14, we went to New York. We went to the Smithsonian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then they had that, this is back when they had vaults before they moved them all and they put them in different museums now. But when we were there, they had all the bundles in one vault.
Yeah,
and there were like shelves on shelves of bundles. And I remember the moment we walked in that bundle room, all those bundles woke up. Almost like eerie, scary.
Yeah.
And they all start going off, and then that person that worked in there, he's like, yeah, we don't really come in here. And this is why. And all those bundles were waking up.
Yeah. Well, through the resiliency of our people, we're slowly able to come back and get these things.
That's one thing I've noticed, though, since I've been growing up until now, that there's a lot of young people really getting involved with their spirituality.
On awakening.
Yes, exactly. Trying to keep your culture alive and keep it out to where people can see it, our own people can see it and use it, instead of being manipulated and try to hit it away. The archives in Indiana I was talking about, the university over there, they have so many archives, singing archives, it's unbelievable. But you have to go to school there, you got to know somebody that has a card to get into it, and you got to know who you're looking for, what your family is, what clan they are. I mean, there are access all these things to find these songs. It should be out there where you can just search them freely.
Yeah.
So you could just have them and know them for your own purposes, spiritual purposes.
There's that's crazy because you go back to those songs I was telling the stories. My grandma said that they one of my aunties or one of them went to the archives in Bismarck there at the state building, and she said that there was an old reel-to-reel, but she recorded it on her recorder, and she was playing it, and it was just old songs, but she didn't know what they were saying in that one. She was playing it, and she got home and she pushed play, and it was playing through her house. when as she walked outside, there was so much snakes on the ground. She said you couldn't even see the grass. And it turned out that song was a snake song, an old song that they used to sing.
Yeah.
And, and those are all being lost, and no one even uses them anymore. And these are all old, like you said, somebody to use it their own way.
Well, once they try to take our doings and ceremonies and stuff away from us, too, that messed up a lot of stuff because a lot of stuff got lost. Like those bundles were used for some of those ceremonies. And, if you don't have the original bundle, then that ceremony can't really be brought back to life anymore because that piece is not there.
The rites, the protocols to use these bundles and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
like when that, like in the 20s or the 30s on the Dust Bowl, when they sold that bundle from here, and it went to Smithsonian and it dried up, the earth started drying up. And it was how many years? Was it 3 years?
I don't know.
3 to 4 years when that Dust Bowl happened?
Yeah.
They called it the Dust Bowl.
Oh, it was during the Depression, wasn't it? Yeah.
And the earth was drying up.
Dust Bowl.
And the government came back to our tribe and asked us to get that bundle. And that's when they had the meeting, and the tribal members had meetings, and they went and brought it back. And when they brought it back, it rained for 2 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
2 weeks straight in January or December. January. In the middle of winter, it stormed for 2 weeks.
I believe it.
Didn't that happen at Sturgis too? They said that it was so hot that they went to a native guy and he did the rain dance.
Shut up, for real.
For real, that's what they said.
It's so
did it
fucking
rain?
hot.
He said
So
they-
What's those two little rapper guys? That's on.
Mike Bone.
Mike
Yeah, I had them guys come over.
did the rain dance. Well, is there any? Because we like to talk about power, and this is an awesome topic, man.
Yeah.
'Cause, it's something that we like to just raise awareness and get people to see that there's more to our lives than just powwow, and it's cool actually, getting in perspective from a dancer,
Yeah.
and someone who's into their spirituality, like we all are here, and. I guess going back to powwows, we always got to ask this question: is there any powwow pet peeves that you have?
That I have. Well, I suppose if you go to powwow, something will pop up somewhere in there. But I don't think there's anything that really sticks out in my mind. I think what message I'd want to spread would be the appropriateness of your category that you're singing for, and dancing, and the dancing part.
So is that a pet peeve that you...
Are you talking about like when the drum beat's like singing for Golden Age, but they're singing at 100 mile per hour?
Yeah. Well, it was like a gathering this year when I was head drum judge. They had the Golden Age women come up there, and I forgot who it was. I'm not going to mention no names, but they come out with a dang bullet right away. And at about the third verse through, those women are just barely making it, And I'm like, oh my God, because it's a higher altitude.
Well,
it's a higher altitude.
I understand what he's saying though. Like you're not going to give them 100 mile per hour.
And they're only getting one song, so since they're getting one song, let's give them a fast one.
We made this one.
Yeah,
We made this one for Golden Age.
we just made it right now. So, but I just if you see elders out there and just sing them with something they want to come back and dance to, so they remember your name as a drum group.
Well, yeah,
Right?
That's a pet peeve. I mean, there's other dancers that feel that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you want to, who sang your song, and you're going to say the name, real boom, it's because you love that song so much, and you want to watch the video.
All right, so here's one I got over the weekend. I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but she made a post about singers laughing at other drum groups, right? So if you're going to set up at a powwow, you want to know what you're doing. You're not going to want to go in there and just set up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's like that for dancers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You don't want to go into a category that you don't know what you're dancing.
No.
So that's kind of a pet peeve too. Seeing dancers or singers sing for a category and they're singing a whole different song. Like this To be honest, this weekend the first time I've ever seen grass dancers dance to a duck and dive.
Yeah, I know. I kind of threw me for a loop too.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck's going on?
Addy, addy, addy.
Yeah.
Jingle dressers dancing a double beat.
Yeah, or a double beat. I've
Yeah.
seen that
Well,
happen.
then I think we got a sneak up. They went stop at the first one, put it on the second one. They kept on going. You know what I mean? And
It changed from a ruffle
okay,
to...
check this out. Remember sneak ups back in the day used to stop 3 times. Remember?
Well, they used to only stop 2 and kick off on the third one and end the song.
No. Remember when I was a kid, they would stop 3 times and they would kick off. It would be like an extra verse at the end of the fourth. You know, because they keep on going. But nowadays they do 2, then they go on with the third one and they stop on the fourth. So.
Yeah, that was the original. Was the ruffle was 3 stops,
Yeah.
and then the fourth one was the end.
Yeah.
So actually 4 stops, but
Well, no, no, I think I don't know. I have to go back to do my math, but I know for sure that they would stop 3 times.
So have traditional dancers always charge the middle on the
No,
last?
no, no.
that just came
That
about
just
recently.
came about in the late '90s, probably.
What year did you start that? Just
Yeah,
kidding.
right after we killed Custer. It was. No, it was never like that. So then I think it was at Rapid City. They had a big doings about that. They had the matter of fact, the cavalry flag out there, and not the original one, but the one they captured. It was but they were dancing on it, and they told that story with that. And then ever since then, people would charge the center of the arena.
I remember we went to St. Francis for New Year's. My brother Pat Badhand and the Red Leaf. So we went over there, stayed with them, and they asked the singers because they brought out like fruit and water for the powwow. And they said that we, as dancers, we had to charge that so that way we can share it with the people.
Oh.
So that was my first time seeing that. And like a few years later, they started doing it at powwows. So I don't know.
Oh,
I seen him charge the tree at Sundance.
yeah. I've seen that before too.
I seen them do that in a happy dance in Washington. They do, or they'll dance around like round dance, all hold hands, and then in the middle of the song they all rush to the middle.
Oh yeah.
I'll come back up. The happy dance.
So the other thing we was talking about was having a draft, a singer's draft on Wednesday. That'd be dope. That'd be dope, right?
Yeah. Singers. So all the up and coming singers gotta hang out on the edge, and then I'll take him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But
And then imagine you're the last guy nobody wants to.
What does every drum group
Play
start
kickball.
with?
Yeah.
so you would have what I
lead
was
singers?
telling him was
Well, how it started
We'd
out was
register.
we would have a challenge, powwow challenge, amongst dancers, to where if you have, say, junior and senior adults, men's northern traditional. Now, at the end of the powwow, if the younger guy in first place wanted, or even within your own category. So Tones got first and I got second. So I told Tones, I'm going to bet you against your money, my money against your money, that we'll dance another song, and then we'll be judged. And whoever wins has to give up their money.
Oh.
And if you do that between juniors and senior adults, or within your own category. So if I win fifth, and I started going up the line and started winning, here I get everybody's money. And same with Jingle, Fancy Shawl or whatever. And then you win that, and then the winner of the men's traditional is like, okay, I'll bet you against your money. Senior adults against junior adults.
Nice. So it'd be like an ultimate dancers challenge.
it wouldn't have to be your whole cut or your whole pay.
It's whatever you want to donate, and
whatever you
then
guys wanna-
would match.
No.
In a battle for that.
Yeah.
Winners.
But they would have to throw their own money in there.
Yeah.
Well, who would be the judges? Because we know judges play a big part in everything that we do.
I would
singing
It would
and
be your
dancing.
wife and
Secret and my daughter. I don't know. Would you be better off going with the crowd, or have both?
Numbers.
We know what I
Or
would
you could
do.
do Olympic style. Yeah.
Numbers.
What I would do, I think this kind of pertains to both singing and dancing. I would get non-natives to judge because they don't know.
Well, exactly. They don't
they-
know. So how would they know what to look for?
You know, and it's just like you kind of explain them about the singing portion of it. You kind of explain them about the dancing portion of it. Be like, all right, if the drum stops and they step over, boom.
Or you could run them through a little
tutorial,
a guide of how to
exactly.
judge. Yeah,
and I think that's probably the most honest way to do it because when I was a head singing judge in gatherings, we had a white dude that wrote for a magazine judge. And he was.
I thought you had a priest.
Oh no! And then remember one year too, there was a entertainer guy who's people of color. I don't want to say that, and he judged too. So
I think it'd be better if you just use the numbers because you put the guys on the spot so they couldn't hide their judging.
Yeah.
So if you put them out there and use numbers like, all right, five judges, like how they did at Round Dance.
At Jerry's hand drum contest.
And then like you'd see who's the guy trying to be lowball or whatever.
Yep.
And that was me, but I wasn't lowballing. I was just judging strict.
Yeah.
But everyone would be like, oh.
Keeping it honest. I mean, it depends on the judge.
And could you have celebrity judges too once in a while at a powwow?
Bring in some native celebrities?
Yeah.
Like who?
Michael Spears, Eddie Spears.
Badass.
Wes Studi? I don't know, somebody like that, I guess.
He couldn't even say a Rooker all right. So why would we want to bring him in?
He couldn't?
Huh? I remember when we did that show in L.A.
How do you say it?
He's all from the Mandan, Hidansa, and the Arikaraka tribe.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a Rikaraka.
Well, that has to be within your qualifications of a judge. You got to know every tribe.
That'd be cool if they actually have that. One day celebrity judges.
Yeah, it would be cool.
And then you have the 5, and then you use like old powwow people. Like veteran judges that have been in the powwow game for a while, and you use them as judges so everyone can look at them and be like, he knows what he's doing, and then when he holds up the numbers, or they hold up the numbers, then everyone be like, all right, I can see if he's lowballing, if he's hating, or...
But you can have, if you have celebrity judges too, then that's another way to bring more people in.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do the spiritual hustle, and bring you got old folks to judge, because they're celebrities also, in their own way. Then you got celebrity judges that you see on TV, or however you make that decision. So it'd be kind of cool.
For like drum groups, you could bring in people like Pharrell or Timbaland or old
AC/DC or
old producer
or Michael Spears,
Ozzy Osbourne or something like that. Just
that'd be. Oh, I don't know. Michael Spears would be the final say. He'll be the
guidance.
He'll be Chuck Norris in the corner.
Yeah, like that.
But here we are, man.
Fucking Chuck Norris.
See, powwows are still trying to figure out a way to make them, I wouldn't say better, but to make them more fair.
More legit.
And that's the thing is like, no matter where you go, man, there's always that extra little, it's not what you know, it's who you know type fact.
Like after this weekend, I won't say his name, but he messaged me on Monday night.
Just say his name.
And he was like, and he was at the powwow. He was one of the singers, and he messaged me. He said, "Heard Mandarin powwow was rigged." And I laughed my ass off. I put, "Holy shit! It's Monday night, and you're still crying around about the singing contest." I said, "Move on, bro." I said, "There's always another powwow down the road." And then he come back and tried to change the subject. I didn't even get an invite to your feed. I was like, I'm not even on the fucking powwow committee.
Trying to find something. Huh?
I know. I was like, just let it go, man. There's fucking no reason to be crying around about a powwow.
There was one guy that said something in drumline during the powwow too.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's kind of, but
it's always going to be.
It's just because they didn't place high enough. You know what I mean? And that's just how it goes sometimes.
Well, you got to realize you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah.
You got to try your best. That's all you can do. If somebody's mad about it, hey, I'm sorry, apologize. I'll try to make it better next time. If you don't like it, don't come back.
Yeah.
And you don't want to say that to anybody, but after a while, there's certain people that all the time just got something to say about something. Yeah. Those are the motherfuckers you're like, okay, if you don't like it, stay home. Yeah. Go get a job.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be like that, man, because like Tone said, there's people that feel they should have placed higher. I mean, there's probably times where we felt like that ourselves.
Yeah.
But we're not going to express it. We're just going to be
Well,
like...
it's okay to express it, but how you come at somebody in a negative way, it's going to rub a bad spot on you. So if you have a little, be cordial about it. Say, yeah, okay, I respect your opinion or your feelings.
You can jokingly tease about it.
Throw it out there a little bit. Yeah.
We leave it up to the people.
I'm good at that.
Pointing fingers.
And when the elders come up and say, "Man, you guys sounded awesome," I think that's the validation you need.
Oh yeah.
See the people's chant. When that happens, I said people's chant.
Yeah, that's true.
You made somebody feel good.
I've been in many spots to where I didn't get in where I was supposed to, but the people would come up and say, "Man, you should have had it."
Where I was supposed to.
Well, you know what I mean? No, you guys been there too as singers. You go to powwows. Oh yeah, we got this. Even though you weren't boasting or bragging about it, but you just knew, and then it didn't turn out that way. You're like, it's like, so that's the point I'm trying to make.
That's how we were at gatherings 2016. We got the gate, but. We felt like we should have did better, but
it's because I wasn't there.
Did any of you guys complain when you guid lost 2016?
No, none of them did.
No,
because I didn't go that year, and pretty sure if I would have went, we would have won it that year.
Shit.
I really feel like
I was just gonna say that.
It's his fault.
Well, I think it's about time to...
Why you didn't let me talk? I was trying to talk about my Powwow Singers draft.
Well, we were trying to hear about it. But we started talking about the ultimate dance competition here.
Ultimate challenge.
The ultimate challenge. What do you... Well...
No, it's all right. We'll end it.
No, let's talk. I want to hear this now.
Yeah, I want to hear this too. Because I am curious about the draft.
So how does this draft exactly work?
Because you would have to get, lead singers?
No, what you would pay...
Team captain?
You would pay an entry fee of $100.
Singers League? Is that what you're trying to talk about?
No, it's not. It wouldn't be a league. It would just be one weekend where you had... You had all these singers sign up, so you got 100 singers to sign up at $100 a piece.
Yeah.
Then you draw, then you would divide them into 10 groups, so it'd be 100 singers, right?
Yeah.
You pick 10 captains.
You would have invited singers then. You wouldn't have drum group. You just invite singers, right?
But they would still have to pay to get in. Though.
Yeah, but I mean,
but then you would still have the drum money for the drum contest.
Yeah.
But you would pick 10 names, and that would be your captains. So anybody could be a captain. It's not that way. It's all fair, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
It's just luck of the draw.
Yeah, luck of the draw, and then you would have a draft. They would draft first singer would draft his first.
blind draft, or
Nope.
they pick.
They get to pick.
Imagine if you're the last guy.
So let's say you were a judge and our head singer picking your first singer. Who would you pick? Just randomly. Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Dead or alive?
I pick myself.
Pick myself.
That's all I need.
That's all I need.
There's me.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah, and me.
But yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, because it's just that's really just throwing a curve. I mean, you would have basically just a couple.
And
a
you
day.
wouldn't have to do this every powwow. You would do it at one base or powwow to be your spectacle as a singer of a year.
It'd be a singer special.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of it, you.
Are these drum groups getting into the singing contest to win for the money too, or is it just...
Oh yeah, well that'll be your drums for the weekend for the drum contest.
So you're inviting 100 singers. That'd be cool.
But then you would have your draft Wednesday night, so everybody knew how to.
Thursday, you just learn all the songs.
And you had to dress up in your best traditional attire.
Yeah, like
or however you want to show it. Yeah, make it work.
Maybe Kulture Stream should host a powwow or
A
at least
singer special,
something like that.
yeah. Maybe if we can get some sponsors, we can start.
Yeah, you hear that?
You hear that, people?
Singers powwow,
THT?
dancers delight.
Yeah,
For real.
That'd be
Singers powwow, dancers delight. I mean,
Yeah, that'd be dope. I mean, just that would definitely show who the singers are.
I'm actually on the phone right now getting some
Yeah,
sponsors.
you would have a certain drum that would.
This weekend, there's no power this weekend.
Yeah. Right away.
Rush into it.
Drafts tonight.
No, that's a good idea, man. And like I said, we're always trying to find a way to keep things interesting, but yet fair.
That'd be dope, actually. And then we can do it with the judging way with the scorecards.
Yeah.
And then, didn't they have a power one time a sing contest where they were judging off of people on watching the?
Is this in New York?
No,
it was the sound meter.
No, I thought they were taking votes in for like The Voice and stuff, where people would watch it and they would put their votes in, their vote in, and like say.
I think that was on Facebook, right?
I thought so.
You're gonna do it vote by.
Yeah, that was at gatherings that one year, right?
Yeah, I think they did that. Yeah, well, I mean, same thing too. So you would have your scorecards, maybe, and then maybe celebrity judges, and what I just said about the video, or watching from.
That'd be dope, man. It'd be cool to get some sponsors.
Then what about backup singers?
Well, you could do
them too.
You could probably throw it in there. One backup singer per drum.
But I would get a female backup singer to kind of head that part of it because
we chocolate.
Gonna do we chalk.
You don't need freaking 14, 15 singers. You know what I mean?
So anybody want to elaborate on our Tones' idea and we can get it together? Let's do it.
Looking for sponsorship.
We need about 100,000. That'd be good enough to have the
singer special.
Yeah,
make it work.
Well,
I mean, everybody could get something.
Every drum would still get a cut or something. Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's taking the chances. I mean, we sang together for years, but it's just like now you're gonna go sing with a different group. I'm gonna go sing with a different group. He's gonna go sing with a different group. So it's just like we don't know what the chances could be.
Yeah,
actually, I think we kind of did that when we were younger.
Well, I know I'd probably win it.
Around?
There was a Powwow in Canada. They had drum money, and they just put all the drums together. Then they do 5 leads, almost the same way.
Yeah.
Then I had to sing one song, and then they're just judged on one song, though. But I mean, that'd be cool to do that though with the draft.
Yeah, it would take you Wednesday for your draft, and then Wednesday night, and then Thursday all day Thursday to learn songs, and then sing the weekend.
Friday, so
yeah, because
have a practice session on Thursday.
Plus have a powwow with it too, of course.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the best new song of the weekend goes to.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That would be a good idea, too.
There you go.
That was me and Jude Vaden came up with that idea.
Yeah, best new song.
What was the other question that we asked along with Powwow Pet Peeves?
Oh, we need a Powwow story from you.
A crazy Powwow story.
You don't have to mention names.
No, I can't go too crazy. I can go mildly crazy.
You gotta tell the one where you was over the weekend why you missed your contest.
Oh, so this weekend at Bandery Powwow, they kind of changed it up on us. The setup is to where you dance fancy shawl, men's fancy, all to the traditional. But this, they flipped it. So anyway, I'm about to camp, painting my face up, getting ready, and then Verna, she's walking up towards the powwow. Then all I hear is, "Lonny, you're next!" So I'm grabbing the rest of my stuff, and I take off running. And meanwhile, she's still walking up there. So by the time I catch up to her, I run past, and she goes, "Lonny!" I said, "What?" "You're a bustle." Shit, and I had no bustle on. So I had to stop. And I was.
He was going Woodlands.
Yeah, I was gonna go with it, but I was like, I kind of tried to get mad at myself, but then I stopped and thought about it. It happens. Laugh it off. It was a good weekend no matter what. Prior things that happened to the weekend, it was just, sometimes you got to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
And get along with your day and be happy about it. That's what life's about. You go and powwows and enjoy, but if you go to powwows and are hating all the time, fucking don't go. Stay home. Because we don't need it. I don't need it. Just go and have a good time and enjoy yourselves and bring your kids. They're the most important things about this. We're trying to show them how to be. We already been what we are, but we got to teach them the right ways and make sure that they know the right words, discipline, and, all that goes with that, with your spirituality, ceremonies, and your faith. That's all we have nowadays.
So is that your Powwow story?
That's the part, one of them.
Well, one of the
That's,
many.
that's all I'm going to tell this time.
That's the.
Now you got to give us a good
That's
one. I know that you got one.
I can't think of them right now.
So
I'll have to get about half cut or something like that.
so as a dancer, let's say like you miss half of the song, do you still go and dance?
No. You should have been there when it first started. As a professional, you should have been there. That's what they always say at a powwow. Always be ready. I've heard it ever since I've been growing up.
Yeah.
Always be ready. And if you get ready, and don't half-ass it. Just go out there and do the best. We all do the best we can, but I think as a professional, you got to be there.
I seen somebody line up and they didn't even dance.
Yeah.
They had to sing.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
That's the same thing with singers, though. Singing contests, you just don't come in and like push people aside because by then your chair is already gone.
Yeah, and you don't make it obvious. Some people might not catch it. Don't make it obvious. You try to slide in on the side with your one, everybody sees that. So
Yeah, Jude just pushes all the judges out of the way and
Move.
Move.
That dope. Move, I'm singing.
I'm here. We can start now.
Get out of the way, I'm singing.
Well, thank you, Lonny, for.
That's waiting for Tonton to cut him off.
Thank you, Lonny, for joining on the podcast and your insight. I mean, I think it was awesome.
Insight or insides?
your insight. Thank you for your insides. Yeah, it was my pleasure. I got to glad to express some feelings and talk about things and laugh around with you guys. Hope we get to do it again, and I appreciate you all very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, bro.
So, closing words, Jude?
Travel safe. Yeah.
Oh.
Just want to give a shout out to myself for being awesome.
Okay.
No, just want to give a shout out to all the people that we talked about. But anyways, yeah, I just want to say thank you, father-in-law, for coming on.
You're
the
welcome,
podcast.
new son-in-law. I appreciate that.
And
Spirits
just
are
want
knocking on the doors.
to say I hope.
Oh, well, thank you to the MHA Interpretive Center over here for letting us host our podcast here. Again, Lonny, brothers Jude, Tones. Shout out to Zoe. He'll be on soon. He's probably recouping from
Hawaii.
Alrighty. Well, y'all remember,
Well,
safe
there was,
travels. Safe travels. Dance, sing for the loved, for those who can't. And remember,
If you don't use it, you lose it. Thank you, Roger.